Hi all, hope you're all well. Mike German here from Visual Animation. Right, today let's make this this donut. So we've got a donut, we've got some glazed icing, and we've got all these sprinkles on as well, which I'm just trying to show you up close. So yeah, you see that? And quite a nice effect. Shall we just get on and start making it? Right, here we are with a new scene. Let's get this donut made. Right, so what do we need? We need a torus. Let's keep it all the same size. Let's not worry about scaling it for this. Let's just keep it as it comes in. Right, so we need a few more segments. So let's go to display and go to Gumroad shading with lines. And as you can see, there's not really many segments here. So let's just go and push this up to say 200 and 200 in the pipe segment. So we get that much more tighter mesh. Okay, so we're going to have stages here. We've got the donut, which is obviously very easy, and now we're going to put the icing layer on top of here. So what do we do? How do we get that effect on top? Right, so if we right click on Torus and we go for other tags, and then we go to polygon selection. Okay, click on that. Right, in here we've got fields, so we can add let's go for a random field. Right, to make this show up, what we're going to do is just create a quick standard material. Let's go red, something like that. And then we'll apply that straight to the torus. Right, obviously it goes red. So how do we restrict these colours? Now, if we go on here, look, we've got a selection here, look, where we can drop in this polygon selection tag. So now we get the random field that we've just put in here. That we've put in a random field and it's using noise, 100% scale at the moment, and it's dropped in there. Now, for the icing, as you saw on my previous one here, the icing is obviously coming halfway down the sides, not all the way down. So here, this going all the way around it. So what we do is we add another field into here. We add the linear field. Okay, and we put that into, I think, Y plus. Now, at the moment, if we, also we need to just close that up to about 20, so the length is a bit smaller. At the moment, it's not working that well. What we need to do is on the random field, we need to put that above the linear field, and then we need to change normal blending to overlay. So now, if we use the linear field, look, we've got kind of this pattern that's coming down the sides, but at the moment it's not looking too good because we need a bigger scale for the noise. So if we go to the random field and we go across to the noise, sorry, just got distracted by a message on my phone. I'm waiting for a delivery. Oh, it's probably gonna, doorbell's probably gonna ring halfway through this. Right, so back to this. Yeah, the scale of the random field is 100%. We need this to be, let's go 500. Okay, now we get this nice random curve, look, coming around the edge. All right, which looks like the icing line. Okay, so far so good. So, but at the moment that's just a colour and it's flat, and we need this to have some thickness and to smooth it out a little bit and make it look like icing. So how do we do that? Right, so best way I've found is to grab the thicken here and put the torus under the thicken. Obviously what that does now is that's thicken the whole thing up by 10 centimeters, but we only want to thicken the top part up. So in here that we have a polygon selection, so we can use what we've just made and we can drop it in there. And now what it does, look, is it just separates the top out and gives you that thickness. Okay, so we can just bring that down, let's say about 8. Nice thick ice on the top. It's very stepped because it's using the, let's just turn off that work plane so you can see. It's using obviously the geometry we have here. So the more geometry, the better this will get, but it will never get that smooth. So a way round this, using this method, is to, and also another thing, on position here, we want to push that out 100%, because as you saw, it was pulling in and it's distorting the grid here. You see that's nice and smooth now. If you keep it over there, look, it's pulling it in. So make sure you push the position out to 100, excuse me, to 100%. Right, so how do we make this edge smoother? Right, so all we do is we go into the deformers here and we get the smoothing deformer and we just drop that under the thicken like that. Okay, and straight away, look, it's starting to improve the edge. Now it's not quite worked because there's a few little tricks we can do here. We can go on to thicken and we can take off the start cap. Okay, and what that does is it just removes a part of the geometry, so we just get this smoother line here. And now what we can do, we can add a few subdivisions into the sides, look, and that gives you a little bit more of a smoother and pushes out the bit, you know, the thickness there, and smooths it through. And on the smoothing, we can add, I think which way to go here. Yeah, we can actually push up the push up the stiffness, and we can add more iterations. This is really down to you on the look you're after, okay? But that, for me, I mean, there's a few little lines there, but compared to where we were, that's starting to look quite nice. Yeah, it's like a dripped icing effect across this Torus, right? And this at the moment, and it will remain that way. We're not going to make this editable. This is procedural. So again, if we want to make changes to this and we're not happy with it, and we say we want it to be a little bit higher up, you see, or lower down, we can alter it as quickly as that. And the random field, if we say, you know, the noise is not the right pattern, I want it a little bit more drippy looking, you know, not quite as smooth, and we can bring that down to say 200, look, and then it starts to sort of look a bit more drip like. Or we can bring it up the other way and really smooth it out. Okay, so we can keep it in this procedural mode where we don't have to make anything editable, and then we can't make changes. So we keep it like that. So that's it. We've got the Torus. Now we've added the icing. Now we can obviously add, you know, a nicer icing to that. We can come in here and add a nice material. Let's put a nice pink on here. Something like that. And then we can just drop that onto the Torus instead of that red. And there we've got this nice shine happening. So if I bring up the, we can get some lights on here as well. Let's just put in a dome light, and let's just put in an area light, and let's add a target and a null, right? So the null we can just keep in the center here, and then the area light we can just, you know, move around. If we look at both of these views, we can see we just want to extend it like this, and then kind of just move it around a little like that. What we're trying to do with the light is just to get it to give us some nice shine on the top, but we don't want it intensity of 100. We want to bring this down to, you know, something a little bit more like 1 or 2 or something like that. So let's have a look at our Redshift render view for now, and let's just see how we're getting with this one. Okay, look, so we've got that. So a nice shiny kind of icing glaze on the top. Okay, and we can do a similar thing. Let's just make another material for the brown part, for the actual donut itself. Let's try and choose something that's kind of okay for that. Might be a little bit light. Let's go about there. And then we want to turn off this shine for this one, don't we? Because it's like a bread base. We don't want too much shine here, so we can put that on the Torus and make sure it's underneath or before the icing, because that's got the tag on, so that needs to sit that way. So quite a nice effect now already. We've got some nice colors and a nice shine and a nice look to that. So now we're going to add the fun bit. We're going to add all the hundreds and thousands sprinkles to the top. All right, so the way we do that, let's just close out a minute, is we're just going to clone them, but we're going to clone them to this particular area. So if we grab, what we're going to grab, a capsule. Okay, let's make that say 0.5 by 3. It might be too small. Let's go 1 by 4. 1 by 4 might do it. Okay, so now we grab the cloner, and then we put the capsule under the cloner, and then on the cloner we want to go to object, and then the mode wants to be object, and then the object in this case is the polygon selection tag. Okay, so we drop that in there. Look. You don't see anything yet because it's underneath the thickness of this, and also there's not many there. So we want to bring the count up to say 20,000, right? Loads of sprinkles. You still can't see them. The reason for that is distributed it on the surface, but it's underneath the thickness that we've created for the thicken. So we need to go to transform, and on the Z here we need to bring that up the same distance. So if we look at thicken, we've got an 8 on the thickness. So if we go to cloner, transform, on the Z we want to put in an 8. And now they've all jumped, and it's slowing down a little bit. Let's just wait for this to catch up, because what I should have done, which I probably will have to start this again, I should have put the cloner in the multi-instance mode. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. Multi-instance. Okay, make sure we're on that, because this will run so much quicker. Okay, let's have a look now. Yes, there we go. Look, it's all moving again now. Make sure multi-instance and then add your big numbers. Okay, now these are okay, but let's just come out of ground shading mode for now. Yeah, they don't actually look too good at the moment, and they need to be a slightly different size. So let's go for something like 7. That might be okay, but yeah, they don't look right and they're the wrong color. So basically we want these to be a bit more random, like they've been sprinkled on and all different random shapes, directions, sorry. So what we do, click on cloner, go to MoGraph, effector, and we'll go for random. There we go, finished. Now the reason it's done that is it always does this. It defaults to 50 centimeters in the position. So we uncheck that, we check on rotation, and then we can just spin these around, okay, like that. So they're still sitting on there, but they're just a lot more random. So we're starting to get the look. Now we need to look at colors. Now on my example I had some different colors, like some different purples and things like that, and you can do rainbow colors and all sorts. Now the best way of doing this, I found, rather than creating a material for each section of these, you know, and cloning lots of different colors, is to use a plane effector, and let's call that color. Now I'm going to spell it the English way because that's where I'm from. I know if you're American you don't put the U in there. So we're going to use that, and we're going to take out position, and we're just going to use the fields part of this for the color. Okay, and now to do that we need to add something in there to generate some kind of pattern on here for color. So we'll use a random field, and let's just check the color to set. Now we need to make sure that this is in the cloner. So let's just have a look at cloner effectors, and it's not there. So we need to add color into here. As soon as we do that, look, it starts to change the colors of these. Look, excuse me, sip of coffee time. As you can see, it's changed it to all these multiple colors. Now we can adjust these colors, and we can say where these colors are coming from. So you go to color remap, color mode, and we say gradient, right? And then we just want to clip this in a little bit more, just so we get the some real blacks on here and some real whites on here, so we get extremes of the color. Right, and now to get the color to come through, we go to load preset, and then we pick our colors. So we can have, yeah, these this flame I think I used. There we go. That. So that gives you quite a nice look to go with that pink. But the other thing is we can create a material that we can reference this, because at the moment we don't have a material here. This will render, if I put this in now, you see they're on there, look. but you can't affect any shine on these or anything like that because we don't have a material that has reflectance. So what we need to do is just create a standard material, and then we go to texture, and then we go to MoGraph, and we go to color shader. Okay, and then we drop that onto the cloner. Now it's gone a little bit whiter than what we had before, and what we can do there to change that is go to the random field, and where this is all spread out across here, we can group all of these together, and then we can clip them in like that. And then we should get it pulling in these edge ones. Okay, so if we push it towards the middle, it will reference across from this shade to this shade, look, and you start to see that it's bringing in these colours. I just want to look at possibly taking out these darker ones on the edges. It might look a bit better without those in. Let's just group those again and pull them a little bit closer in. There we go. That is starting to, so if you bring these in enough, you'll start to influence these colours a lot more. At the moment, if you leave them back out, right back out here, look, it's not going to look at the blue. So we need to just clip that in quite tight here, and then also bring the other side in. Okay, so now it's bringing in the blue and it's bringing in the purples and all in between. So, and then with that, obviously, because it's a colour material, we can add more shine to that. If you want some more reflectance on that, we've got control here now that on here. And then if we just have a look back on, let's just have a look at that's loading. I think that's loading okay. Yeah. So have a go. Hope that's a bit of fun for you. It's all procedural. This is what I love about this. Is we've not made anything editable. You know, even with all these hundreds and thousands stuck to the top of it now, we can still go back to our random field and we can have a look at the you know, the scale of the noise that we set to 800. Let's bring that down to 200, and there we go. It changes that, and it will also, it should actually update the cloner. Let's just have a look at the cloner, make sure it's it should update the cloner. Let's just see why it probably didn't just jump to that. Maybe it's got to refresh it somehow. So in factors, we've got random. Yeah, it's using excuse me, it's using this tag, which I'm actually going to call icing and sprinkles, you know, because it's using it for both. Right, so now we're going to drop that in to reference the cloner here, which it has dropped it in for that. It's not dropped it in for the colour. Ah, no, it's still got polygon selection. Look, so we need to drop that back into there. Look. So look, it has updated it. Don't understand why the smoothing has not come into play. It's because we haven't got all of these back in. There we go. Look. Yeah. Sorry, I'll change the name of it halfway through, and it still referenced the old one. So yeah, what I was trying to say there is, you can alter this. It's procedural. We can alter where it goes. I think we just have to make sure that we. Yeah, I think you have to kind of nudge the cloner after you've made those changes, you know, and just do a little jiggle on one of the settings, and I think it will, you know, even if you turn off a line clone and back on again. Let's just give that a try actually. So if we want to say bring that right up to 800, at the moment though it's still kept it there and it's not updated. But if we go back to the cloner, I think if we just make a little change here, look, you see it just it just gives it a little kick really, because it doesn't quite catch up unless you do that. But there we go. Have fun, make whatever. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow, so you know, make a red version, make a heart shape, put some of this nice icing on, or go and buy a real one. Anyway, have fun. Speak to you soon. My name is Mike German from Visual Animation. Take care. Goodbye for now.